Good evening. I'm a lot of justice. Tonight, we're discussing a cutting-edge case that is tearing the environmental community apart. Meet the Sacketts, Mike and Chantel, who are facing the EPA over alleged Clean Water Act violations. Mike and Chantel purchased a residential lot near a lake in Idaho and filled that lot in. A concerned neighbor, noticed the construction and called the EPA to inform the authorities of the construction.
Hello, I'm neighbors with Mike and Chantel Sackett. I'm concerned. They're building, but I'm telling you, it's a wetland.
The EPA showed up to the Sackett's property and informed them that they were not allowed to construct because this area constituted a wetlands and was therefore protected under the Clean Water Act. And as you can see, the property is wet. Mike and Chantel, please tell us what happened.
We purchased this land fair and square to build our lake house on Priest Lake. It is our very right as an American. We started clearing the land when the damn tree-hugging EPA came in and started stopping the workers, unprovoked.
Then the EPA just comes in and tells you this is what you have to do. No facts, it's just their opinion. And you have to do it. As tax-paying citizens, that's a tough pill to swallow.
They bullied us, tried to intimidate us. That's the tactic they used to make us feel small and like underdogs.
You all may be seated. Sir, can you please take off your hat?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Good morning. Case number 0225, Sackett versus EPA. Counsel, off with the hat.
But I like it.
Take it off, or you will not be allowed to speak to them.
Good morning, and may it please the court. I am Damien Schiff, representing the Sacketts. We are moving for declarative and injunctive relief. Mike and Chantel Sackett are here today because 4 years ago, the EPA issued against them a compliance order, charging them with violations of the Clean Water Act, saying that they have to restore their property. But this is a final agency action. They are allowed and have the right to have this compliance order reviewed by a court.
Excuse me, Mr. Smith. If we rule today that the Sacketts have to get a permit, would they follow it? Do they like following the law? The letter of the law.
Yes.
So that's what you would do today. You would say, I don't think there are wetlands on my property, but EPA does. So I'm just gonna take out all the wetland, or I'm gonna take out all the fill and put it with herbaceous plants or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Seems right to me.
Thank you.
May it please the court. I am representing the EPA. The court should affirm the lower two courts' rulings. The Sacketts, owning their own construction business, had prior knowledge of the Clean Water Act's requirements for a permit to fill in a wetland. 'Tis madness to say they did not. Instead, they began filling in the wetlands, and wetlands they purchased, and they did not stop, even after the EPA informed them of this violation. The Clean Water Act precluded pre-enforcement judicial review of the compliance orders. It did not violate due process, I say. The final agency actions taken by the EPA would be granting a permit or an enforcement action against these ridiculous Sackett people. Thus, it was not a final agency action.
Justice Scalia, do you have anything to say? I mean, this all just seems quite final to me. I mean, if they say they're gonna follow it, I think we should reverse and remand it. I don't know how much more final you can get. More All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Sackett versus EPA. The court is now in session. We are here to determine whether the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit set forth the proper test, aka Kennedy's test from Rampanos, for determining whether wetlands are waters of the United States under the Clean Water Act. Counsel, you may proceed with the arguments. Sir, please put your hand up.
You know who I am. I don't need an introduction. It's now been going on 16 years since petitioners Mike and Chantel Sackett began construction of a house on a vacant lot in a largely built out subdivision. Yet their home building plans remain on hold to this day because the EPA remains steadfast in its view that their property contains navigable waters and is subject to the Clean Water Act. But that is not true. There is no wetland here. There's a mailbox. They have their own postal code. How is that a wetland?
May it please the court. I am Brian H. Fletcher for the EPA. The property which the Sacketts have been fighting us for is navigable waters as defined by the EPA and is therefore subject to regulation under the Clean Water Act. The court should adopt the significant nexus test as laid out by Kennedy in his concurrence in Rapanos, since all the other lower courts have decided the plurality opinions no good. The Sacketts concede that the wetlands are regulated. So the real question is, if those wetlands lose their protection due to some insignificant barrier like a road, which, let's be honest, even chickens can cross the road, but overwhelming scientific evidence shows that those barriers do not diminish their essential role in protecting the integrity of waters like Lake Priest.
Again, hello. I'm Justice Kagan, and I'm speaking on behalf of the justices who don't want to see America turn into the next episode of The Handmaid's Tale. So, how adjacent is adjacent?
It's like very adjacent. We have a road.
Is this adjacent?
That's certainly adjacent.
Is this adjacent?
I would agree.
Is this adjacent?
Even more so.
Is this adjacent?
I'd say yes.
Is this adjacent?
Totally. 100%. I agree.
Works for me. Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, Chief Justice?
How do I get rid